In this video, we are going over 5 first touch hacks that are going to take your game to the next level. That's coming up next. What's up guys, my name is Dave and this is Simplysoccer. If you're new here to the channel, where right now we're releasing videos every single day to help you improve your game and stand out on the pitch. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss any of the videos that we release. Now again, I want to go over some of the things, some of the hacks, some of the ideas that are going to help you to have a better first touch. I consider ball control and first touch in particular one of the most important skills to master in this game because so much branches out from there. So let's get into it. So we're going to go in reverse order, starting with number 5, and it's stick to 1 and 2 touch or master these 2 areas as quickly as you can. The fact of the matter is, if you can't play 1 and 2 touch effectively, and I'm not just talking about passing and moving, I'm also talking about being able to bring the ball down in 1 touch instead of 4 or 5. I'm also talking about being able to play that first time ball through somewhere or be able to shoot the ball first time, all of these different things. Because if you can't effectively play 1 and 2 touch, you will slow the game down. And if you're playing on better teams that are trying to play faster and quicker and be on the counter and you have people closing you down faster, not being able to play 1 and 2 touch effectively with multiple parts of your body, by the way, is going to come back and bite you in the butt. So make sure you are practicing this. This is very easy to practice. You can practice against a wall, controlling the ball at different pace from different angles with different parts that you play against the wall. You can do this with a partner, 1,000,001 partner drills you can do to improve this area. And this area can also always be improved. But if you're looking at your game right now, analyzing it and seeing, yeah, my first touch and 1 and 2 touch isn't great, that is one of the first things you need to get out there and work on pretty consistently because it's going to be hard to function at most levels, especially as you get older, without a really good 1 and 2 touch ability. Number 4 is to touch away from pressure. This is, again, really has to do with first touch, but so many players will touch it into themselves and then away from pressure. And one thing you want to start getting good at is being able to touch it away from pressure to give yourself that space and separation needed to do whatever you're going to do next. For example, I'll see a lot of people, they'll just take a touch into their feet when someone's just really closing in on them, and then they'll get the ball poked away or stolen because they didn't touch it away and then maybe shield the ball or do something of that nature or even go past them. So make sure you're doing directional control when you're working on this with, again, all body parts, being able to take the ball with the inside and the outside with 1 foot in 1 direction, using your chest, using your thighs, just being able to master directional control. Because it is a skill that's going to serve you in many, many different ways. It's not all about just bringing it down to your feet, into your feet at first. It's being able to be a little more advanced than that as you get better. Number 3 is protect the ball. Sometimes you're not going to be able to take the ball away from pressure, and you will need to immediately shield the ball and protect it after your first touch, especially if you're in a congested area. One player that just popped up that does this really well is Wijnaldum on Liverpool. One reason that he's so good in that midfield is because he rarely loses the ball. And this is because, for me, he has mastered touching the ball away from pressure, but also being able to shield the ball immediately, being able to think of that, being able to know when he needs to get his body in there, take his first touch, and already be in a position to shield the ball, pass it off, or even beat them. But it always gives him a little more time, a little more room to think and operate when he knows to shield that ball almost immediately. Because again, the higher up the levels you go, the more players are going to be on you immediately. And you need to be able to take that first touch in stride as you're shielding it to be effective in those kind of scenarios. So make sure you're practicing that. So number 2 is a bit similar to touching it away from pressure, but it's directional control. And now I'm talking about this in a more attacking way. A lot of players, they don't think about this when they think of ball control, but you can beat a lot of defenders with a clever first touch. A first touch is going in a specific direction opposed from just, again, stopping it into your feet. For example, a Lallana turn is a good example of a first touch directional control that helps you beat a defender. Really, any kind of turn when someone's tight on you or closing you down a little bit too late and you have that ability to take your first touch into space is an example of good, smart directional control. Now, directional control is a little bit harder. You have to be able to know how to control the ball, how much to put on it when you're spinning, you're turning, and you have a little bit more momentum. But there's even disguised touches you can take. There are touches you can do that are going to make it look like you're going one direction, then go the other. You know, one I personally like is to make it look like I'm leaning this way and take a quick touch with the inside going back in the opposite direction, and this works so well. Okay guys, so number one is one a lot of players forget about, and one that's going to help you be a much more advanced player, and it's the awareness of what you're going to do next. Now, a lot of times what you want to do next may not come off. For example, you might get the ball spin and a defender is there and you just have to react. But a lot of the best players, especially the ones with a high football IQ, before they've received the ball, before they've even taken that first touch, they know where everything is. They've looked up, they have awareness of what's going on the pitch. And so they have an idea of their options and what they're going to do next. The player that's more ponderous, the player that plays a little too slowly, that, you know, misses out on those opportunities when they get the ball, is the player who gets the ball and then looks at their options. Now, again, in some situations that will be the case, but again, you should always be thinking about, what am I going to do if I get the ball? You know, what are my instincts telling me to do if I get the ball? And that way you can get it and then execute immediately instead of dallying on the ball. Now again, this isn't always. Sometimes you will have more time and you'll need to play safe and you'll need to assess your options, whatever it is. But for example, if I'm receiving the ball in the middle and I'm aware, I know that I have a player behind me who's wide open. I know that my striker is about to start making that run, or at least there's the space available to make that run. I know that if I need to play safe, I can just turn around and play to one of my center backs, for example. But if I don't have that awareness, I suddenly get the ball and I might go into panic mode because I'm not aware of what's around me. Again, so you want to make sure you're always surveying this field, being aware of what's around you. And then that allows you to take one of these first touches, the right first touch that we've been talking about. Maybe I need to shield it. Maybe I need to take a directional control because I can beat someone. Maybe I need to take it away from pressure and be a little more defensive. But I'm not going to know which one to use if I'm not aware of what's going on. And so you want to be thinking moves ahead. You want to be making sure you're aware of what's going on around the pitch so you know what type of touch to take. Guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I'll have 2 videos up on the screen to help you continue to improve your game, stand out on the pitch, all of that fun stuff. Make sure, again, if you haven't subscribed, you do that now, and I'll see you in the next video.